What were your first thoughts when I said that I wanted to study abroad for a year?
Well, we thought it was a really exciting opportunity to do something different with your degree and experience something pretty unique. So yeah, we were quite excited for you.
I thought it was a very good opportunity, and that we hoped you would be successful in getting onto the programme. And we encouraged you to apply and to look at the different places where you could consider going to, and make sure you really wanted to go there.
Did you have any concerns about the places that I chose on my application form?
We were quite glad you'd chosen 2 places in Europe because they're quite close, and we thought we'd be able to visit, and if anything went wrong we could go over and see you. Also Amsterdam and London are both places where you can speak English, so we thought we'd be able to settle in quite quickly. Singapore was a bit more ambitious, and we were quite glad really you didn't go to Singapore, although it would have been a wonderful place to go, and all sorts of places to visit from there. But I think on balance, going to Europe and going to Amsterdam, it was a place that I wouldn't have chosen, but I think you chose right.
I think it was visiting Amsterdam or London, Sweden would have been very feasible and interesting places to visit. So we were okay with that. Singapore, like you said, is a bit more ambitious, but would have been fun, but would have been more difficult for us to visit.
Although it's not for the parents.
What did you think when I got the place to study at the University of Amsterdam?
Well, we were really pleased because you've gone through a competitive interview process. You had to get a certain score on your second year exams and coursework at Manchester. And you'd had to have, like I say, it was competitive, so we were really pleased that you got it and excited for what you were going to do in the year.
I thought it was a fantastic opportunity really, and I was really pleased because it's something that I did when I finished university. I went and studied abroad for a year in America, and it's something I never regret doing, and you learn all sorts of things, not only about the country in which you're visiting, but the other people you're visiting. You meet people from all over the world, and you get to learn a lot about yourself as well, and how you cope on your own in a different society. I think it's fantastic.
Did you have any worries about me going to Amsterdam?
Well, we were slightly worried about Amsterdam. Amsterdam hasn't got a tremendous reputation over here with the red light district and the drugs and things, but I think that was really only a minor concern. And actually, I think in a place like Amsterdam, it's really very safe because those activities are regulated. It's also quite a small place, so you can walk about and go everywhere, and it's not got a lot of crime, so yeah, it was a good place really.
Yeah, I mean we've been to Amsterdam before, but we by mistake stayed in the red light district, and so we got a particular perspective of Amsterdam which wasn't the accurate one when we got there. So although we had some concerns, Amsterdam is a sort of stag party central for a lot of young English males. But that's only a very small part of Amsterdam, and as we got to know it, we learned that is only a very small part, and there's lots and lots more, which is much more interesting.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful place, and a really good place to be.
Good. When I went to Amsterdam to start the course, did you have any concerns?
Not really. I mean, we were nervous because we were seeing you off to a foreign country, which initially you were on your own. Because we didn't come out until a week or so later with your things, so we were sort of apprehensive because we were sort of dispatching you somewhere abroad where you got to find out quite important things. You got to make your way into the city, sort out your accommodation, pay for your accommodation, find your way around, register at the university, all in a foreign country. So we were sort of apprehensive about that, but we thought that it was a good experience for you, and if you came through it, it would be a sort of real life experience which would set you up for other things later on.
Yeah, I mean we were a bit worried, but we are always on the end of the phone these days, so it's quite easy if there are problems for you to phone. So I think we weren't particularly worried, although we were glad when you did phone and let us know you were okay.
when you brought the car with all my things, what did you think of the accommodation and the general setup?
We were very impressed with the accommodation. Flora had a very large room, and the flats were broken into groups of two, so only two people sharing a kitchen and bathroom, which I think is probably an ideal arrangement. You get to know someone else, but it's not a large number. The quality of the accommodation was very good. She had a nice large window, large room. The orange floor was a bit alarming, but you got used to it. It was very clean and well maintained. They were actually painting painting the building outside when we arrived.
What did you think of the courses that I studied? Do you think they added to what I'd already done in Manchester?
Yeah, I think the courses you studied were really interesting because they weren't very obviously geographical, but they linked in with geography a lot. So you did things on the Dutch Golden Age, on Dutch identity, on China, on India, Eurocentrism, which all were more sort of historical than anything else, but also linked in to geography and sort of made you a little bit more interdisciplinary, and that you were looking for geographical links with what you were doing.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was really good that the extra year counts towards your degree and that you become BA in Geography with International Studies. So it recognises what you've done. I thought it was a really good opportunity to study different subjects and to pick up on your sociology, which you'd always enjoyed in school, as you did some sociological based courses as well as the geography ones. And particularly we enjoyed learning all about Dutch history and the Golden Age, and going to the museums, and you were able to tell us a lot of the historical background, particularly about the sort of conflict between England, who took over from the Dutch at the end of the Dutch Golden Age. They became the dominant country with regards to sort of the beginning of the British Empire.
And the other thing about the courses you did was that when we visited the Netherlands, we got you as a really good guide to the Netherlands, really, because you knew much more than the tourists did, and took us to far more interesting places than just the general tourist places.
Yeah. Do you have any tips for future parents with their child going abroad this year or in the future?
Well, I think a big tip is don't worry. I'm sure they'll survive and they'll do well. It's a wonderful opportunity to go and live in another country and learn about another culture, and it should be, you should encourage your child to go if it's possible. Really, one of the tips is to keep in touch, to go with them at the beginning. We found it useful that Flora went a few days ahead, and then we came later with her things. Gave her a chance to settle in, and then later, but she knew we were coming, so she had a chance to get used to things, and then we were there to help her a bit more settle in, and I think that really helped at the beginning. Also, we visited a couple of times over the year, which I think she enjoyed, and we enjoyed as well. I think really make sure they've got enough money, and that they keep in touch with you, really, and that they grasp the opportunities that are available. Have a go at everything. Don't sit back. Just have a go, even if it's something that doesn't particularly appeal to you at first. You should always try it out, because you never know what will happen in the end.
And get Skype, because that's a good way of keeping in touch, and a free way of keeping in touch, and it's reassuring that you can see your daughter or son, and that sort of reassures you that they're okay and they're looking relatively healthy.
Yeah, I think the Erasmus programme is an excellent programme, and that I hope many more students, I hope they keep it, and the European Union continues to fund it, and that Manchester sends many more children or students abroad, because it is a really good opportunity to learn about another culture.
Good. Thank you very much, parents.
Thank you, Val.
Thank you, Val.
Thank you, Val.
Thank you, Val.
God, I'm not watching.